We are live. Broadcast is live.
Hey, I see you have the new house shirt on.
I do have the new house merch. I'm actually going to even throw it in the chat so people get the link to check it out.
Okay, do that.
Going to even throw.
There we go. I knew that was going to happen. I had the channel up, and it always happens like 15 seconds after we start. There's some other audio. What's up, everybody? Hey, it's been a while.
It has been too long.
What have you been doing?
Oh man, what have I been doing? Well, I haven't been bowling a whole lot. That's for sure.
No?
No, I have. I've kind of had this nagging shoulder injury that I'm getting checked out. That is I would say it's been a pain in my ass, but it's been a pain in my shoulder, really.
Feel
It's
like feel like you're a bull in a china shop.
dude, I am. It's unbelievable. I mean, just it well, the injury kind of started in February and at the World Series, just bowling a lot of games. Something happened. Didn't think too much of it. You've taped up my shoulder a lot over the course of the PBA tour this last year, and I was okay. I was getting through it. And then I tried to bowl not this last weekend, but the weekend before. And at the bottom of my release, it was just a lot of pain. So rested it.
Pain
Started
where?
bowling. Pain like in the front and like a little bit on the top of my shoulder, but mainly in the front. Went and got checked out by a doctor yesterday.
And
Uh,
it hurts when you follow through?
yeah, so it started hurting when I was following through, and that was new. So that was the first time it actually deterred me from bowling. Every other time I could get through it. It was fine. So now it was time to go get it checked out. So I rested it when I got checked out by a doctor. Really good doctor actually. Guy that works on all kinds of MLB players, Cardinal players, football players. I went to his office and there's like signed memorabilia everywhere. It's pretty cool. I'm like, you want a pro bowling jersey up there?
Well, this
Just want to
place
give him
seems
a
legit.
yeah, it's pretty legit. So he went got it looked at. They think it might be like bicep tendonitis connecting up into my shoulder, or I have to get an MRI on Thursday to see if it's like this bicep sling he was telling me about, which is some connective tissue that supports the shoulder. And if that's damaged, then might have to go a different route as far as some treatment for it. But I bowled today. Shoulder's not great. Bowling game's not great, but I bowled about 3 games with very little pain. So,
You're going to have to go to that Stu Williams follow through.
uh, well, it's a good thing I was working on a low backswing. So, because that's definitely what I'm gonna have to incorporate into my game. The old backswing, 5 feet above my head ain't gonna work anymore. Uh, So yeah, my next thing is I'm kind of trying to figure out how to get this shoulder going so I can bowl nationals in 2 weeks. So
Are you worried about not
right now
being able
I'm
to bowl?
hoping. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you would have asked me 2 weekends ago, no, I wasn't gonna be able to. But took some rest, bowled a little bit, uh, and I got through 3 games today. So hopefully in 2 weeks I can get through 9.
So you're just gonna tomorrow you're gonna practice again?
Yeah, I'll practice again tomorrow. Um, just keep doing rehab, keep stretching, doing some like a lot of strength exercises for my shoulder, more like stability stuff, nothing too crazy weights. Doing nothing other than bowling and that, and yeah, we'll see. We'll get through it. Just a lot of stretching and a lot of ibuprofen. That's
How's
the
the hip?
idea. Everything else is great. Back is fine now. Hips fine. I tell you, as soon as I get healthy, something else goes wrong in my body. It just had a list of injuries that just it sucks, and I just don't know. Like this shoulder problem, the issue was, and it's kind of the same thing with my hip. There wasn't a specific moment that I was like, oh, I just messed it up. You know, you fall on it, you throwing, and it hurts one time, you feel a pop. No, it was just like a gradual increase. So I've been dealing with that. That's
Yeah,
That's what I've been going with.
I know. And there's a tournament for $5,000 in St. Louis this weekend. You're not even gonna bowl it.
No, and it's a marathon tournament. There ain't no way I was getting through that. So
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
I'm actually going to New Orleans this weekend.
For what?
A little vacay.
What with the boys?
A couple of my buddies from back home. We
From
were
high
a
school?
couple guys that I just don't see very often. All got together, and we've been. I'm sure people in the chat can relate to this. You have your buddies that great friends, but you don't get to see, and life gets in the way. We try to make plans, but a lot of times that falls through. We just can't coordinate something. So we're all sitting there having a beer at a bar, and we're like, "What are you guys doing next weekend?" And somehow we all said nothing. And a couple drinks later, we're like, you know what? We should go to New Orleans. Don't really remember how that got started. Looked at flights, booked them right then and there. About 6 days out, leaving this Thursday. Going to New Orleans for 3 days.
What time in the night did you guys book these flights?
It wasn't too late. It was probably about 10:30, 10 o'clock.
I was thinking like 2 a.m.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was about 10 o'clock. It was about 5 beers in, and we just booked a impromptu trip to the Nolans.
Okay, so you're going to NOLA Thursday.
Yes.
What are you guys gonna do? What's that street down there? Not Main Street.
Bourbon Street, I think,
Bourbon
right?
Street. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna go check that out? Have some. What do they call them? Grenades. Check out the grenades.
Grenades.
Yep. They sell them on Bourbon Street. They come in like a glass that looks like a grenade, and I can't remember how strong they were, but I think it's like the street's famous thing.
Could be. I was told to bring a lot of beads.
Ooh. Is there like any kind of partying going on, or is this just down in NOLA? Are there any special events?
No, I don't think so. We just it was just where can we go that's not super expensive.
Yeah, no.
That we haven't been to. I've never really been to New Orleans, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of places. Not really New Orleans.
Where was Nationals out that one year? It wasn't NOLA. What's the city like
Baton
an
Rouge.
hour? Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I was there. That was a while ago. I think I didn't bowl it, but I think the time before I was there with my parents. And I think that was even pre-Katrina. Honestly, that's the only thing I remember. So yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be cool.
Do you see that picture with the team I bowled Nationals with a long time ago? Craig Hansen.
Oh, it was great.
We bowled NOLA. We bowled in Baton Rouge. That was where we bowled.
Oh wow! I looked at that picture. I'm like, how did this group assemble?
Yeah. Well, I think I was bowling with Casey Murphy, and I was like, well, let me grab Craig, because Craig was fresh off being a beast. And then he grabbed Chad Roberts, and then I forget who the fifth was. I forgot who the fifth was. But yeah, that was a good team. And then the next year,
It is a good team.
Who did I bowl with? I bowled with Cameron Doyle, Greg Young. Who's the guy that bowled for McKendree? Their buddy. I'm gonna kick myself when I don't remember his name. He's your age, bowled college for McKendree, same time you did.
Riley Smith.
Yeah. And there's someone else. And Coffee. And then I don't even think we shot 1,000 one game. We were bowling at the stadium. We got 1 and 2 by ourselves. We were in team event, and we were the only team on the pair. We were like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then
Nah.
Dead.
Hey, real quick. I'm not logged into StreamYard, so throw the merch. See if you can find the merch site.
Okay.
Actually,
let me go to it real quick.
Here, I posted it in the private chat. Sorry, guys, we're figuring this out. It's been a little bit since we've.
Yeah, we're noobs again. Where's the private chat? Oh, I got you.
It's crazy how that can happen at nationals. If we talk about nationals a little bit, you can have a dynamite team and not do very well. I've been on a few of those. And then I've been on some teams where we didn't think we were going to do very good and we shoot good scores. So it's a cool tournament in that regard that anything can happen.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever had personally. The last year we bowled, not last year, but 2019 was my best year personally. But as far as like a team, I don't think we've ever like been close, given it a run. I remember we were bowling in Reno. I was doubles with Brett Cunningham, and I had like I don't know 740, and he had a chance. But dude, every year I go to nationals, I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna shoot big. I'm gonna give it a run. I'm gonna win some big brackets,
Yeah.
like the super brackets, and then I always make like $1,000 in brackets, and that's really kind of it.
Did you see the team that just I think took over the team all events?
Was it Bowl U?
Ah, yeah. It might have been. Sax was
I,
just
I
telling me.
I just saw a picture of a team today, so probably that one.
Yeah, someone shot 2230, took over the all events lead. Someone else shot about 2080, something like that. A couple little 1900s, and then apparently their last guy shot like in the 16s, like 1690.
I'm looking at it now. So the team was Kevin Bianco, a 25-year-old right-hander. Okay. We have a 25-year-old right-hander having success in the bowling industry. We started the day hot, never cooled off. 743. Chad Me was his doubles partner, Kevin Bianco. And then Me had 719. I guess that was just doubles. Bianco continued his pace through singles games of 748 in singles. Landed him ahead of Anderson with a 22-26. Anderson still leads 22-26 is what this Bianco guy shot. And he's a 25-year-old right-hander. We don't even know who this guy is, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I do. I feel like if I saw him, it's usually in the bowling industry. If I saw him, I'd recognize him.
But I guess these guys have studied under Brad Angelo, who teaches Bowl U methodology. He and Rick Bernard.
Yeah, I
So
think
they've been
they're
working
probably
with Brad.
from Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember that time at the stadium where we were talking to Brad about some Bowl U stuff, and he didn't really like want to get all super into it, but he did tell us that the most important ball in your bag is your eyeball.
He did. I do remember that.
And that was the same year. It was the World Series in Reno, and Brad Angelo made the cut in one of the patterns. They were super high scoring, but he made the cut on one of the patterns, throwing a different ball each game. And his only strategy was the new ball that he goes to is going to have 500 grit on it. So he had like 7 or 8 balls, had 500 at all of them, and throughout an 8-game stretch, just went to a brand new 500 service bowling ball. He's like, I don't even care about bowling ball. He just needs 500 on it. And then he almost won. And then the match play portion of that tournament, he bowls Thomas Larson, which is another, I think we were sitting in the stands, which is another Bowl U guy. And Brad Angelo shoots 300, 250, and then loses the next 3 and 5 or something like that. I don't know why I remember that. But.
I remember that was the first World Series I ever bowled. And I remember doing, I guess was it 3 or 4 patterns then? I think it was
3.
4 patterns, wasn't it? It was 3?
For the World Series?
Yeah.
It was 3 animals.
Was it 3?
Cheetah,
3 animals?
chameleon,
I remember the
scorpion.
first.
Was it 4?
I think it was 4, man.
And then the 5th one was the World Championship?
For some reason I thought it was 4 because I remember like Cheetah, it was Cheetah and then 3 longer patterns or 2 longer patterns and the one like Shark played up the gutter. Maybe it was just 3.
Well, no, because the long one on Scorpion you made because you bowled Dom and lost.
Yeah, but Shark was I think longer, but remember they still hooked on the gutter. Like
yeah, but I don't think you played the gutter, did you? Because you were throwing a Black Paradox.
On Scorpion, I didn't. No, or I think it was Scorpion. But I just remember bowling terrible on those first couple days. Like, I don't know how to do this. And then we had a practice session with Brad Angelo. And Brad, we were bowling, and he told me something. He's like, try to release the ball in front of you. And I was like, okay. And at this point, I'm thinking anything. I'm going to try anything because when you're bowling on tour, you got to adjust. Like, obviously, what I'm trying to do and the feel I have isn't working. So I remember the next day I came in and just focused on releasing it like in front of me. I don't even really know what that meant, but I tried it with my feel and made the cut. Had like the best one, like to that date, probably my best performance on the PBA tour. So I got to give Brad Angelo a lot of credit for that one.
Yeah. Crap, I was going to say something and I forgot. I was thinking about because I was throwing motive that tournament. And motive, like they had them in the oil at that tournament was so thick. That's why Brad Angelo was just throwing 500.
Oh yeah.
And at that time, motive balls didn't do so great on super like sludge. So I was just dying, and I'm watching people throw these 500 balls. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was a tough. That
I
was a
was
tough
gonna say
tournament.
something, and I forgot.
What have you been up to, man? Kind of recapped my life a little bit.
Well, moved into an apartment, and that's been
Nice.
a man. That's been a ride. I get in here.
You living by yourself?
Yep.
Nice.
My sister's having another kid, and I was living with them and my parents and everything, and I was just like, I do not want to deal with another newborn baby. I actually really enjoyed it up until my sister was getting ready to have another kid because Jackson is 3 now, so he's fun. I enjoy playing with him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to deal with another newborn. So I got the apartment searching, and I got one. I was looking all over around town. I couldn't find one. And then finally, my last option, I was just like, screw it, I'm calling this place. It's in Lee Summit where I live. Nice area, good location. They're like, yeah, we got plenty. I'm like, what? No one else has any. So I go in and I walk through, and I'm like, this is perfect. I guess I could tell the tenants before were smokers and stuff, but I didn't smell like a terrible stench. Nothing. It was better than the other ones I looked at. The carpet was nice. Everything. It was just perfect. So then I move everything in, and then it doesn't smell good in here. It smells kind of like an ashtray a little bit. So I'm like, what in the
Oof.
world? So then I messaged the lady at the leasing office, and I'm like, it does not smell good in here. With the previous people smokers? She said, yeah. And then she took some money off my rent, but I was hoping she would send like an actual cleaning company. And I looked up for some cleaning companies. And then I was like, you know what? Screw it. What's living in a place without your own elbow grease into it? So I got to cleaning. And I cleaned this place for like a week straight. I scrubbed every wall multiple times. The furnace that's sitting in the unit was disgusting. It had just smelled like cigarettes and stuff. So I've cleaned that 6 times by now, dude. Yeah, I've just been cleaning this place, and it still doesn't smell great, but it's better and it's livable, and I'm happy with it. Is it perfect? No, but is it a great place to live for a year? Yes, because now I'm kind of sort of used to it, and I'm still actively trying to get it to smell better. So anyway, so I'm at my
Better?
new place. What?
It's better. It smells better.
A little bit, man. I originally started cleaning with dish soap and water, and then I heard baking soda helped, and so I've put some baking soda in the furnace and scrubbed the walls. And then I've been lighting candles, and then Febreze. I just recently bought a bunch of Febreze, and I've been spraying it, and it's getting there. I have a feeling I'll get it to smell good by the time the lease is up, and then
Yeah, no kidding, right? Just in time for the next smokers to
yeah,
move.
and then I'm gonna say you're welcome to this apartment complex because this place was dirty, and then whoever's moving in here next is gonna be living clean. So I've been doing that, trying to get this situated. Finally got a desk. Finally got an office. It's a 2-bedroom. So I have my own little room for an office, which is really cool.
I know. I am actually in
Are you
my
in?
new office as well. It's not much. I have my desk, my laptop, an extra monitor, my file desk next to me. I'm working on. I got a bunch of memorabilia to like hang up, all kinds of like St. Louis stuff, and then some bowling stuff. Just got to figure out how I'm gonna get all that up. But I'm excited. One of my roommates just moved out, so I just kind of took over
Just
his
Ben,
room.
right?
Yeah, just Ben. So Ben moved out. I have a room. Before it was just my bedroom, and it was okay, but there was just no room in my bedroom with this massive desk, my laptop, all this bed, dressers, all that. My room's not very big. I have a very small house, so yeah, it's nice to have like my own little space that is empty, and just for this purpose. So now we got the computers on the way. Now I gotta get a mic, get my whole setup going on, so we can start doing this whenever we want.
It's just you and Shim, right?
Yeah,
No,
right now it's just me and Shim, but yeah,
he's
it's
not.
good.
He's not planning on moving out anytime soon.
I don't know. I'm sure he will. Sure he'll leave the nest here soon, but yeah, I don't know. We'll
And then
see.
what are you gonna do? I'll move in.
Yeah, come on in. Then I'll have another extra room. We can get dual desks going in here.
Oh, we
We can set
could.
up a whole studio.
Honestly, if we lived in the same place where we had like two good computers and two good workspaces, we would pump out so much content. It would be great.
Yeah,
That's what I'll do.
let's talk to the audience a little bit about kind of where we've been. I know we've been a little MIA as far as creating content lately. Let's start with you, Brad. What's kind of been the reason for that?
Well, there's a lot going on, right? We got done with the U.S. Open in Reno, and I mean, we've logged the last couple of days, but we didn't release the videos because neither one of us were happy through the whole season. I mean, neither one of us were great bowlers. I don't think you were injured. I don't think mentally we were prepared to do this like month and a half shootout. I don't know. It's like before we would bowl and then make content, and this time we were bowling and making content, but it just didn't seem the same. Like the vibes weren't happy. You know, we were having to test for COVID and wear masks and pay an extra couple $100 for the testing. And there were just so many things going on between like the players talking and the money wasn't great, especially in the last couple tournaments. So when we go home, I don't know. I guess we just chilled, right? When I came home, my goal was to get a place to live. And so I finally got that done and situated. And then I guess that leads us to about now where we're getting ready to start content again. Like you got your place, I got my place. Bowling, you know, I wish it's tough too because there's not a lot of bowling right now either. So, you know, the PBA, when we got done with the US Open, they did the playoffs in the other show and they filmed the playoffs and made it last throughout. And then there's some other events coming up like the King of the Lanes, the Strike Derby and stuff that we won't be a part of. But I mean, the opportunity to make content about like professional bowling itself has been slim. That's my point. It's like it's not like we've had a ton of tournaments. We haven't been bowling much.
Right.
So I mean, we could do instructional content and make ball videos, which we're getting ready to start doing again. But I honestly, I think this past month, just having a break, bowling and content has been great because
Oh, it's been awesome.
it sucks to see like the activity on the channel and just conversations in bowling and bowling in general not happening as much. But I mean, it'll come back, right? I mean,
Yeah, I know for me, I guess I should preface this in saying that I love making content for the bowling community, and I'm extremely just grateful with like the audience that we've created and the support they show. Um, but when we're vlogging the whole time plus tour, at least for me, it really it can wear on you. So we're making a lot of videos, and then competing in itself is tough, especially if you're not getting the results that you're wanting. Just very frustrating. It's a constant. I don't want to say like drag, but you're constantly like beating your head against the wall. So for me, I definitely gave it my all. This last tour season wasn't feeling like wasn't having the greatest results. But and then when you put content creation on top of that, it's just a lot. So yes, I definitely needed a break. Plus, lately for me, I've been wanting to get back to content, but then was just with this little injury I got going on, I'm not bowling a whole lot right now. I'm trying to prepare for the stuff in the summer. So when our content's revolved around bowling and actually throwing shots at times, it's been tough. So having this little break is nice. I was actually thinking. I was thinking about this yesterday. I feel like in the future, I'm going to rule out 2 months a year that I just don't throw a shot for a month at a time. Like, just take a break, take a lapse. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like June, but like, when the tour ends and our playoffs are done, and assuming there's no other PBA events, I feel like I'm just gonna take 30 days to just get away from bowling. That way I can come back, relax my body, fresh, ease the mind. Because that's something that people, a question I often get is like, what's our tour? What's our bowling season? And we bowl year around. Like, when we're bowling good, we're healthy, we're bowling every weekend, practicing in between the weeks. And I feel like when I was 20, that was okay, but now like the body just kind of wears down. At least for me, my body definitely wears down. So I feel like I'm gonna start taking some more like scheduled breaks throughout the year.
Yeah, that's something I didn't do ever since, man, I was a kid. Even when I was in college, I was bowling 4 nights a week in league, and then Friday we'd travel and bowl in tournaments. And I mean, I've had breaks like a month long, but for the most part, it's just been go, 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 go.
Oh,
And
it's always.
I've realized now, especially having this last month of like a quiet place to sleep and then catching up on sleep and then realizing how much better I feel and how much happier I am when I am well slept and not just stressed. So I agree. I think it's necessary too. Just like, I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. Just bowling, right? So you go in, like you go into the bowling alley and there's a lot of information you have to like entail. Like you have to figure out the pattern, the place. It's very social, so you're talking to a lot of people. You're talking to a lot of ball reps. You're catching up with your friends. You're trying to figure out what balls to drill. You're looking around at your opponents to see what they're doing and what their balls are doing, and seeing if that could be a ball that you need to drill. Or there's just a lot you have to figure out in your head, and couple that with making content, or a vlog every day. Oh, by the way, do you see Darren's vlogging every day?
I've seen a few of his vlogs. I didn't know he's putting one out every day.
Every day in June.
Oh, nice. Good for him. He's been
Good for him.
crushing it, man. He's doing awesome.
Good for
Really
him.
happy for him.
He's gonna be really happy after the month after vlogging every day and the progress he's gonna see. But yeah, just bowling itself, and then trying to make like a positive video. That some days are just extremely difficult to do. Like I know sometimes it comes off as me and you are just like grumpy people, but we're constantly surrounded by our friends and bowlers that do the same thing we do. We have bad days. We don't handle things well. People punch things and kick things and throw things. And, I mean, not necessarily all the time in the actual event, but when you walk outside, they yell, they scream, they cuss, and then they go to their hotel room and an hour later, they're all fine. So we're surrounded by that. So even when it's not going great for us, there's also other players it's not going great for either. Then there's arguments and conversations and urethane and reactive, and there's just a lot going on, and it's easy to get yourself in a bad mindset.
Yeah, that's where I feel like we kind of took a break from the last couple of days of vlogging. Definitely the last day. I think the last day we didn't vlog. Maybe the last two. Because it was hard to make good content with the whole COVID restrictions. Like that was a headache in itself, not being allowed in the center, and then plus the message that we were sending to people. Obviously, uh, we try to be really authentic with our content. Let you guys know, the audience, what we're feeling, but we were just found ourselves being a little too, I would say, negative. I guess that's a good way to put it. We didn't like the way we were coming off on camera, but it was the emotion that we had right there. We're just frustrated. That's all it was. um, and I think that's a big part of why this little break was necessary, to trying to get our head right, get back to the good headspace of, trying to promote things, be positive, which we are. But, like everyone does, when you're working towards something, sometimes it just, you're digging deep, and you hit a stalemate, and I don't know, it's just tough.
Yeah, and it was also COVID, so I mean, we weren't even allowed back in the bowling center after we got done bowling. I mean,
And
thankfully, we weren't on the same squad for the US Open we were for the Masters, though. But like, I couldn't, like, let's say I bowled, I couldn't go back in the bowling center the rest of the day. So it was impossible for us to get like good content throughout the day of other players because we were either in the center bowling or we couldn't be in there at all. So we couldn't, like, we can't really film while we bowl. So we were just taking clips that the USBC was taking for their Instagram stories and using them in our vlog. I wonder if people catch that stuff, but
yeah, I
it
don't know.
was just really hard to make quality content.
It
So I
was
thought
tough.
the break was great.
So what are we doing now? What's next on the agenda? What are we getting ourselves into here?
Well, this is podcast number 10, right? Do you see that? I had to go through the channel and go back and see how many we've done. Only 9 of them.
Only 9. It seems like we did a couple more than that, but I guess not. We've been on a bunch, but yeah, we're gonna start doing a weekly podcast
Yeah,
ish.
we'll have
The
some guests
idea.
on and then catch up with you
So
guys. Being able to talk to
this was probably just us actually. Once we hadn't made content, there's a point where, and it's like anything, when you do something, you just have to do it. And we got into, I guess, probably a routine where we just weren't making content with this break. And at some point, you just got to turn on the camera and go. Like, there's been a couple times where I brought the camera with me to practice. And, like, especially like this last week that I've been bowling a couple games, I could probably film something and I wanted to. I would, on the way to the bowling alley, I would think about this idea. I'm like, you know what, this would make kind of a cool video for the day. Drilled up a new ball, I can showcase that. And then I just don't turn on the camera because I've just kind of trained myself over the last month to not.
you.
So this is, I guess I would say this is the us just, all right, today we're doing it. It's not going to be the most well produced podcast, but we're
We're
doing it
doing
again.
it.
We're doing it.
Um,
So
I do
so
want to. I do want to say to the listeners that we are so okay. So content. We're gonna do a podcast of some sort just to talk with people. There's millions of guests out there we could have that could have some good conversation. So we'll be doing that. We can do some ball reviews, and we're gonna be showing you guys and teaching you guys about the newest Storm stuff. And I'm planning on starting that this week. I can go through some shots with. I think I'm gonna do a ball video on the Ordnance C4 because there's something about that ball that I just love,
you
and
would love that ball. You wanna know
I
why?
can't.
Because it's a turd.
Yeah, because no one else throws it. That's
No,
why.
you know what? I
It's
see
not a
it.
turd.
It's definitely no, it's not a turd, and it's interesting because I kind of see what you're saying.
I've
The
never
ball,
thrown a ball like that.
no, I haven't either. It's such unique shape. I say that I've drilled 3 of them,
Oh,
and
three broken for me.
I've drilled 3 of them, and I've thrown them, and it's a really unique. I actually kind of wish it's one of those balls that it would not make like a 6-ball arsenal for me. But if I had 10 balls, it's such a unique shape that I would keep it in the bag because I
Yeah,
feel like when you can, it could be really good for a couple games, like really good.
yeah, it's good. It's controllable.
It's
For some
yeah, it's
reason,
control.
it doesn't seem to have like a lot of hitting power, and it doesn't seem to make like any like crazy shapes. But it's a ball that you can get to the hole with. I haven't
Right.
necessarily like put on a clinic with it or struck a bunch with it, but I've the second day of the U.S. Open when they were flattened very hard, this ball got me there to whatever I shot, 60 over or something. So it's like a sneaker ball, but I don't know. I like sneaker balls
It
like that,
is.
so I wanna,
Dude, I'm trying to now that I can actually throw a couple of shots, I'm gonna draw up this dark code. I'm
yeah, I
pretty
need to draw
excited
it
for
up.
that one.
Me too. Who are we playing video games with last night? And he said he shot 820 with
I
the
don't know who that is. I don't know who.
dude. That's the guy who shot 900. He bulls action. He's buddies with Cavanaugh and all them. Bulls high action. Like he bulled AJ Rice for $5,000.
Oh, snap. Now that you put me on the spot. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's
God,
annoying.
we
Someone in the chat help us out. Wow.
we suck.
I actually didn't know who because I don't know if I've played with him on there before. And you guys were talking to him and he was talking about bowling. And I was like, well, I mean, he's a bowler. but I didn't know who it was. I just literally didn't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I'm surprised he didn't go down to Columbus this weekend. Come on, Kyle, you got it.
do you know it? You actually knew who it was last night. I
I
had
know.
no idea.
Now I'm getting his first name mixed up. Matt, Don, Dom. He sucks so bad.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
Someone's got a who bowled AJ Rice like 6 months, like a year ago, I guess. Shot 800 over on Long Island. He's from Long Island. Bowls a lot of
Yeah,
action.
right-hander,
Uh,
high backswing.
I can see his face. I don't know.
Yeah, someone in the chat's got to help us out.
But yeah, he said he shot like 820 with it. He said it's really good, but we'll see.
Here, look at this little. I can actually move my mic. Let's see if you guys can see it. Got my little bowling ball storage going on over here.
Yeah, but I need to get on that.
Inside, those are all the
Joe
new toys.
Navarro.
Joe Navarro. Yeah,
God, I'm
Joe.
thinking Don. God, I'm so stupid.
Joe Navarro. 100%. That's it.
I maybe there's two things I would never bowl Joe on: a house shot, and then the ultimate dirt. The Long Island Bud Light Challenge, 2 a.m. pot games stuff. No chance.
I'd pick the dirt personally for myself over the house shot. I take
Yeah,
the dirt.
you're way better on the dirt than I am.
I take the dirt.
He's pretty. Like I'm talking the dirt, where it's
Oh.
like they're hooking so much and they're so broken down that 190 is a good score.
Yeah.
That dude will post to 240, no problem.
Yeah, he is. So what else we're doing? We're doing
Okay, so we
instructional
got
videos. We got
instructional
some ball
videos.
videos, and really just putting a lot of work into our membership, trying to make more content there. We've
Correct.
for those of you who maybe have heard about it or don't know, we have a membership. We offer for a yearly membership. You get any Storm Roto 900 global ball of choice with it, and it's pretty cool. We've brought along Coach Daniel Puerto, and Daniel is really good. It works really hard. And for those of you who don't really know, I guess what it entails, we're constantly people are asking questions about their physical game, arsenals, how to bowl tournaments, and you're really getting a response within 24 hours of what it is. Daniel makes personalized analysis videos of you post a video, he'll give you feedback right away, making a video for you, showing what you can fix, and it's really cool. And then the members helping members. That's the biggest thing I think I'm proud of, I guess, to see. That we really wanted to create as a community that are helping each other bowl, because bowling, uh, there's never really one answer, right? In bowling, everyone kind of sees it different. There's definitely a textbook. When we have community bowlers helping each other, you get a multitude of ideas that you can kind of bounce back and forth and try to figure out something that works for you. So it's really cool. So between that, ball videos, yeah, we just got to get going again.
Instructional videos, yeah. Daniel's awesome.
Oh, he's great. Absolutely fantastic. I love working with him. It was great bringing him along, and because he loves to coach. He loves to improve people, help people with their games.
He
And
really
he does a great job. I mean, I work with him probably once a month, once every 2 months, just to, hey, how am I doing? Hey, what's this looking like? Can you give me an idea for a feel? One big thing when it comes to communication and coaching is that there might be the way to do something, but a coach needs to be able to communicate that to the bowler that makes sense to him. For instance, if I'm working on some first step things, sometimes my first step gets a little long and I lean forward. I'll talk to Daniel and be like, hey, I want to work on this, but I can't connect the body movement to my brain. Can you help me bounce some ideas to where I can understand this and get a good feel for it? So when I go to do this, I feel something. And like the last one he told me was, okay, you want a shorter first step, just feel like there's a line between in the beginning of your stance between the middle of the ball and your left toe, and just don't let that line break. So because if my first step gets too big, well, that wall essentially is going to break. My foot's going to go ahead of my ball. But if I keep that little wall there, first steps stays really short and controlled. And it's just little things like that that he does a great job with. Really happy to have him aboard.
Man, you're right. He does love coaching. It's funny because like me and you we aren't coaches. And I say that like lightly, but Jazz now brought it to my attention like a year ago because Flanagan and Shannon O'Keefe and Jazz now, and who's the fourth one? Anyway, they started their own thing, and we were talking about it, and Jazz now was like, because he said he didn't agree with something we said on one of our videos. I can't remember the video, but he goes, but you guys aren't coaches, and I go, well, we can coach. Like we obviously know the game at an extremely high level. And he goes, yeah, but you're not coaches. And he's right. We aren't coaches. And there's times where I'll look at somebody's video in the Facebook group and I'll look at his physical game and I'll analyze it and I'm studying it and just seeing. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then I tag Daniel and Daniel knows. So like
Yeah,
that's the thing is like we can talk ball motion, we can talk journey, we can talk tournaments, we can talk how to do this, how to do that, hand positions, lane play, bowling balls, centers, pins, racks. We could talk all that stuff. But when it comes to looking at someone's physical game, there's a lot of times where it'll catch our eye and go, oh, yeah, I know exactly. But there's also some times where we don't know how to help someone's physical game. Well, we do, but we don't exactly know where to start. Because, there's
right.
like 2 or 3 or 4 different things that you're looking at. Okay, it could be this. We could start, And then Daniel just knows. He's just so good at that technical coaching part where he understands like, oh, the swing's doing this, it's causing this. You can do this, the technical stuff that we don't necessarily have an eye for because we're so used to being the one throwing the ball.
Right.
And we're so unique in our own ways. Like the way I bowl, no one bowls like me. Not a single person in this world
Probably
sees
for
a
good
name.
reason.
You should listen to Kyle bowl doubles with me. It's true. There's no one who bowls like me. So
No,
when I'm
there's not.
coaching, like it's natural for me to coach the way that I see things.
Right.
And it's important for that person to also get another opinion from you and then an actual coach. And then between those three things, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, what else do you want? Like you have this amazing coach and then you have two guys who could take you to the top. Like we understand that journey full circle. So it's great. Daniel's he bails us out. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so happy to have him on board. Does great work. And you're exactly right on the coaching. We're able to, obviously we have a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of things that we can point out, and because we've been through it, we've seen people go through it. We can, that's one thing I'm always trying to figure out is how people achieve, how people see things, and I think we can give a lot of insight because we know a lot of great bowlers. We've been through it. We've worked on things ourselves, and we kind of know what works and what doesn't work. But to have a guy that really sees it and says, "Hey, you need to start here," you know, bowling's a kind of a cause and effect relationship. You could have something wrong at the end, but it's something that's in the beginning that's causing it. And Daniel's really good at pointing out, "Hey, if you fix this, all these other things will fall into place." And that's just so reassuring. And he's always helping me out with that. I can definitely attest to that. And yeah, it's great. It's
I
awesome.
know. Coaching's hard. I've
It's
realized that
it's
coaching is
tough,
not easy.
but it's rewarding. I get so rewarded
Me too.
over coaching. And I will say to anyone that's listening from the St. Louis area, so I've been getting a lot. People have been asking me to coach a lot recently, uh, in person coaching, and I haven't really been doing it much. Actually, I haven't been doing it at all over since we got back from the PBA tour, and a lot of it was kind of trying to take this break. A lot of it was working on myself, working on my own game. I've been frustrated over this injury, so when I'm frustrated kind of with myself and I'm not there, it's hard for me to try to coach others. And it might be a little selfish, but I just wasn't in a space to where I wanted to be in a bowling center because I just can't bowl right now the way I want to. And I had to really focus on my own game to improve. Now, with that being said, I'm hoping this over the next couple weeks and towards the end of summer, I can get back to some in-person lessons. But a lot of people have been reaching out to me to get coaching, and I would love to do it. I'm trying to figure out a couple things I can do that make coaching a little more fun, as far as structure wise. But yeah, if you're listening from the St. Louis area, I may be reaching out to you if you want some lessons here soon. If you've reached out to me, but if I haven't, coach, that's why I wanted to get that out there. I've been getting a lot of questions about that.
So I'm gonna put the link to the membership. See, it takes me straight to the catalog. I'm trying to get the link to the membership where people can sign up. But I think let's do this. Yeah, so coaching. I've never been really coached. It's like I have worked with several coaches growing up. I work with Jazz now, but like growing up, I worked with Jeff Carter a little bit. I worked with several different people, like once or twice. But for the most part, I got better at bowling by just sticking myself in tournaments where I was outmatched, like bowling regionals young. Like the way I got good at bowling was just surrounding myself by better bowlers and then just watching them. So it's tough because, you know, I'm not super familiar with the idea of having a coach and then working with him every single week to the point where, some people only bowl when they have their coach around, or something like that. That was just never me. I was never really coached. I even worked with Daniel a couple of times, but for the most part, I just bowled as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
So in terms of coaching, it's like, I've been coaching for about 4 years now, but in terms of experience and really getting good at coaching and all that stuff, it takes time. And Daniel's got way more hours in this stuff than we do by far.
Oh, 100%. Oh gosh. Hey, I'm in school again.
Okay.
School sucks. I remember why. You should see the stuff I'm doing for this class right now. I wish I could pull it up. I am filling out charts and writing about things that I have no idea what I'm talking about. It is unbelievable.
Really?
I
How
feel like there
often
was
are you spending doing assignments?
it's a lot. This is a lot of it's a lot of work. Um It's called I'm for those of you listening, I was starting my MBA in a past, and I did a bunch of classes, and then bowling kind of got in the way, and then COVID, and I just took like a 2-year hiatus from my MBA. So decided to start that back up because I'm not really bowling a whole lot right now. I didn't know if I could, so I need to be productive with that. I need to just finish it. So I'm taking an operations management class that deals with logistics and supply chain management. Do you know anything about that, Brad?
A little bit.
Dang, a little bit. Maybe I should come to you for some homework.
Supply chain management. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be a company that deals very heavily with supply chain stuff?
Oh, a lot of companies do, but like right now I'm doing Sigma 6 theories and doing all these different types of charts, and it's it's kind of crazy. X bar charts, R charts, figuring
I know.
out
What are you, what
their
are you, what are you trying to figure out? What's the
oh,
conclusion?
it's like lean, like just in time inventory and lean production, and uh
Okay.
like how many defective products, and is their
Yeah.
process working right now, and all that kind of stuff. Normal distribution, then is it more or less than 3 standard deviations away, and all this good stuff.
So that's stuff like if you were what do you call people who get hired to go do a job for like a month?
Like a
Uh,
contractor.
no, there's another word for it, but yeah, okay. So you can you get contracted to go in and to turn a company around, like a turnaround specialist. You know, you're going to look at this supply chain stuff and try and take out the meat that doesn't work right.
Essentially, I mean, you're gonna have like your managers within the company itself always evaluating this stuff, you know, and all that kind of things. Like if you're having a process that, people are manufacturing large volumes, you can't uh making sure they're all like, if you're making some kind of widget, making sure it's within the specifications and taking like small samples and making sure that everything's within 3 standard deviations, and if it's not, you got to adjust it and halt the processing and all this different stuff that I know really nothing about. I'm more of like a accounting and finance guy, to where give me some balance sheets, give me some ratios, some portfolios, and I can help you out with that, budgeting even. But whew, logistics and supply chain, ooh, it's tough.
So how many more classes do you have? So
I
you
think
get
I
your
have like 4 more classes after this. So I have this one. I need to take a couple finance classes, the capstone, and I think I'm done.
What are you going to do with your master's?
Probably nothing. Probably nothing.
We're going to be vloggers.
I'm gonna use it to improve our vlogs. I'm gonna assess our supply chain with our merchandise and see if it's sufficient or not.
Yeah, everybody contact Storm and let them know that we want a Brad and Kyle special edition bowling ball in process.
Yeah, I'm in.
But see, here's the deal. Here's the deal, guys. We could probably make this. We could probably get with Storm and make a special run of a Brad and Kyle bowling ball. The issue is we would need you to buy them. I mean, we could up front make what 250 bowling balls probably. We'd pay for them up front. We could have Storm make a special run, however exactly we want them. Probably a plastic ball, right? Or to start out with. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably. I don't know.
we could have Storm develop some bowling balls. We could purchase them up front and then sell them. But we would need you to buy them.
Yeah, I was thinking, and I've always been a big advocate of this, like just making a ball. It could be a plastic ball with just our logo on it, or ideally, I would love like a mid-range reactive ball that just has ours on it, um, our logo or something. Name it like the berries. That'd be cool. And just make 250 of them and just sell them. We're not gonna make We're not gonna make hardly any money on them, but just to have people throwing a ball out there
Yeah.
that is related to us would be. I mean, what does it get better than that?
No,
That'd be
and
awesome.
it could show Storm that we can sell bowling balls, because that's obviously the part that's tough with Storm is they're so efficient there that if they take time to make this special bowling ball, that throws them back a little bit. So
Yeah,
if
every ball is
if
there.
we
They
make
sell out every ball.
and we'd have to have them develop it and make it, it'd be a big deal. And if we don't sell all of them, it's not going to look very good. So we would need to make sure we boost up the marketing on that. But that would be cool. I would maybe sometime in the next couple of years we could definitely do that. Okay, so summer tour.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Okay, so bowling, we have some regionals. There's a regional in St. Charles, like July 13th, isn't it? Or is it June? So there's a regional in St. Charles. There's a regional in
2 weeks.
Illinois at some point. I think there's a regional down on the southwest, the Oklahoma. And then we start the summer tour at the end of July. And the end of July consists of going to Lubbock, and we're going to bowl a weekend in Lubbock. And then I don't know, are we just going to stay in Texas and just spend a bunch of money?
I think so. I mean, it's gonna be tough to drive all the way back and then all the way down there.
So then the next week we're in Houston. So we're going to be in Lubbock like the 23rd of July. And then the next weekend we're in Houston for the Lucy, which is probably the coolest event. And then we go to Jonesboro. And then I think we're done, right? So our plan is there's 2 more. There's one in Virginia and one in Coldwater, Ohio, but that's across the country. So Colonize plan right now is to just bowl the first three, and then if we're, I guess, close in points or if it's going well, then we will look into bowling the other two. But as of right now, yeah, and there's also two regionals over there on the East Coast in between those events too. So if we wanted to go over there and bowl, we could bowl two events and two regionals.
Yeah, this is the tough part about, and we were kind of debating this, is when you talk about like the financial situation and talk about the, it's at the end of the day, bowling for us is a business. I don't really go bowl tournaments for fun. I go to see, okay, how much can I make? What's the probability of me making money? And then like, what's it going to cost? So you got to look into all that. Just because that's what our income is,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, the way this summer tour is set up, the money is not great in them, and travel expenses for us to get there, and then get to the next tournament, and then the time of travel is just it's really the way it's set up this year is really inconvenient. I think it was like fifth place is like $1,000 in these tournaments. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah. I don't know exactly, but if it's only paying 10, second place is 5. So fifth place isn't going to be much more than 1,000.
So in fifth in these is I mean that's a great. So
That's
even if it's only
making the show in a national event.
Yeah. So, we decided to do the couple events in Texas. Be nice to go down there in Jonesboro. I like going there, but the other two, I mean, it's just tough. Like it's just tough to, uh, because of what the prize fund's looking like. And then when we go to Coldwater, uh, we have to come all the way back down to St. Louis, and then for us, you got to drive to these because you need bowling balls. And to go to Chesapeake, well, that's 16 hours from me. That's 19 hours from Brad.
Chesapeake in August.
Yeah.
So we were there a couple years ago in August. It's hot.
Yeah. So it's just tough from a financial perspective, trying to make all these events happen. It's just, it's, if you look at it on paper, it's like, I don't know about that one. Just the opportunity to make money. So
yeah, and I mean, I don't know what happened to the PBA financially. I guess maybe, I don't know. They spent a lot of money on the Fox tour. I know that, and maybe Fox wanted them to because Fox is giving them the money. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, these events aren't super lucrative and financially.
And
great.
the overall points thing isn't. I just spit all over myself. The overall points thing is not too great this year, either. Like it's pretty tough. So
Yeah.
did you look at that? What the money for that was?
What's that?
Like the overall points for the summer tour, like the end of the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
20,000 to win.
yeah.
So
Which
instead
is
of
it's tough.
it's tough, yeah. Instead of just making each individual tournament pay more, they just put like 50 grand or whatever in a side deal, and they're just paying the top 5 throughout or maybe the top 10. I don't know.
Yeah, the last summer tour we had, so in 2019, was pretty nice because we kind of made this little. We like got out to Chesapeake, and then we just made this little East Coast tour, and then like ended in I think it was Aurora, and then it was done. But we only had like a day or two off in between, so we basically bowled, had a travel day, and then bowled the next tournament. So now you don't have all these empty hotel room, empty days where you're not doing anything. It's just bowl. I mean, that was in like 2.5 weeks. We had 5 tournaments. That was cool. If they could have scheduled something like that again, that'd be awesome. But now they're all scheduled like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a whole week off. And then it's just a lot. And there's a lot of distances between the tournaments.
Yeah, time as well. Yeah, every weekend. Dude, the 2019 one was perfect. I don't know why they didn't structure like that
I would
again.
have loved to go back to something like that.
I don't know what goes on with this scheduling stuff in the PBA. It's like maybe they couldn't get centers to host us during the week. I don't know, but making them every weekend is just tough because there's just a lot of time between tournaments and a lot of distance traveled for not a ton of money. So
yeah, I mean, if you're going for the experience, that's one thing. But imagine us essentially driving 16 hours to Chesapeake, we can bowl our butts off. It's you got Chesapeake's not a cheap place to begin with.
Yeah, you
It's
finish fifth and lose money.
yeah. I mean, how can you? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just being
Yeah,
a
we're not talking
realist.
shit. We're just
No, we're not
telling you
talking
how.
crap. And I'm a bowler. Like I want to bowl everything I can, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and I'm not here to just bowl to bowl. Like I got to look at it as a financial situation, financial decision. And when you if I go to a tournament and I perform very well and I have a chance to lose money, it's not a great financial decision. So
No.
if I was closer to it, I would go, and I think that's kind of why we decided to do the Texas ones. We can go hit 2 tournaments in Texas on our way back up. We can hit Jonesboro, pretty close to St. Louis. The other two, a little far. Would love to go there. I love bowling in those 2 centers. Absolutely love the proprietors there. I've had great times. Coldwater is one of my favorite places to be. Bowling wise, not so much because I stink in that building every time, but I still love being
Me
there and
too.
bowling.
No, you both good there one year.
Yeah, I think 1 year, yeah, but yeah, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3. But anyway, that's kind of what our idea is for the summer tour.
And then the rest of the year, I don't think we have anything. So far, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So in terms of bowling and vlogs, 2021, it seems like the year because paid out a lot of money earlier in the year, but there's no tournaments the rest of the year. So I don't know, hope it turns around,
It will. We'll just get creative, get back on the train, start making some content, bowl some local stuff, bowl what we can, and hopefully turn around.
Bowl what we can, yeah. The local stuff saves our butts, man. We love local stuff, especially
Yeah.
Kansas City, St. Louis. Dude, between those two cities, I mean, they're drastically different cities and the bowlers and what we do, but we got tournaments every weekend.
Oh, you can bowl as much as you want. It's
between
fantastic.
Kansas City and St. Louis. I love it.
So yeah, we're planning on doing. So I guess we're gonna be doing this podcast every week.
Oh,
If you
I wanted to ask the audience if any of you guys are proficient in Photoshop, graphic design, anything like that, reach out to us because we're always looking to develop relationships and to get some help and maybe some thumbnails for this podcast, maybe some clips here and there, maybe some help on the edit of instructional videos. It doesn't matter. If you're good with graphic design or anything, reach out to us and we'll see if we can find some work to work together with because we're always looking.
Yeah, and I was gonna mention that if there's any guests that you guys want to see, we're gonna try to start bringing along someone to kind of chat it up with us. Let us know you guys would want to see. Obviously we got people that we want to bring on here, but if you guys have anyone in mind, yeah, it might help us out. We'll see if we can get them on here. Just throw it in the comments.
Who would be one person you would like to have on? What's your one guy?
My one guy. See, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. There's a bunch of names that are coming to mind.
I'd be interested to interview Mark Baker. I'd be interested to interview Bill Hoffman. Do you know who that is, Bill Hoffman?
I know who Bill Hoffman is, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple more in there. Carmen Salvino. I'd love to get him. You know who I would really
that
love
would be a good one.
Who is they named an award after him, a trophy. I might have what was the sportsman? Steve Nagy. No.
Yeah.
Steve Nagy? Steve Nagy still around? It's definitely a sportsman award. But there's one guy out there that was a legend. It might be Steve Nagy. He won a bunch of titles. He was like, in control of the PBA, and he was a big dog, and he's still alive. And I want to talk to him. I think he's like Carmen's age, maybe younger, but I got to think of it. There's so many people out there. Imagine all the guys that used to be on tour, like back in the 70s and 80s, that lived during the golden days where there were 35 tournaments a year and there was just so much bowling going on. I'd love to talk to people from that era. Jason Couch, Brian Goebel. I'd love to talk to those guys about what the tour used to be like. Because it's funny, because the way the tour is right now, look, there's not a lot of tournaments, coronavirus, whatever. But and it makes players unhappy. But back then, there were way more tournaments, way more money. And Norm tells me they were unhappy as ever. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Norm told me, he said, when the money was at the greatest, the players were the most unhappy. That's an interesting perspective. They bitched the most, the players did, when they were making the most money. So I don't know. I'd like to speak to people back when the tour was like really killing it.
Yeah.
Just to see what it was like. Steve Cook, that'd be a great one. Steve Cook would be a great one. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. A lot of these people, you know how like me and you were bowling, whatever, and then we try and start a business and, that whole thing. Well, that's not uncommon for anyone like in the 70s and 80s, like Steve Cook. He went off and now he manages 3 centers in California. Like, that's a big deal, owning 3 centers in California where it's like the land is the most expensive in the United States. Like, I'd like to know, or 2 centers, whatever it is. Like, I'd like to know how he does it and how he got there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It would just be interesting because not everyone can throw a ball for a living. It's like people get out, and by the time they're 50, they do other stuff. And I think it's important for the young kids to learn from the people who have already lived it, so that way they could have a better chance at not just becoming this broke, grumpy bowler by the time they're 45. Yeah, Randy P, Steve Hoskins, Bob Lerner, David Ozio.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Dude, there's some Mike Albing.
I want to bring some non-bowlers to the.
Me too.
That would be interesting.
I want to get Ben on,
but we need to
talk mental game.
Yeah, we need to, and we'll get there. We just gotta start doing it every week.
Yeah, we'll do it every week.
To fit all these guests in, we might have to start doing twice a week.
We could. I mean, we can do this from our offices.
Yeah.
Mookie, that'd be a good one.
All right, boss. Well, this wasn't a bad first episode.
No.
It was actually kind of nice. We actually haven't been chatting it up a whole lot. We've been kind of taking breaks. We call each other every now and then. But, yeah, to get acquainted a little bit, figure out what's going on. I'm just happy that we still have people watching us that tuned in a little bit because we've been.
I was wondering, dude, we have 300 people watching right now.
Nice, that's awesome. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Like this was cool to see. Apologies for not really making a whole lot of content lately, but yeah, we'll get on it. We're back in it. You gotta give us a little slack. So yeah, thanks for tuning in today. This was a lot of fun.
Steve Nagy apparently passed away in 1966, so that's
okay. Well, you were close there.
Yeah. Yeah, so content coming up, ball reviews, podcasts, bowling when we can.
We got some merch.
Talk some videos. Merch.
Dude, this is my favorite shirt. You want to know why it's my favorite shirt? Because it's simple. I can wear this.
Very simple.
It's just nice. I like it. The shirts fit so well for me. Like this is like turned into my working out shirt. When they have the big graphic stuff on it, I don't like to get sweaty in those shirts. But this one is just nice and simple on the chest, and I can work out, and the shirt fits really comfortably. Absolutely love it. We need to come out with more stuff like this.
I know. We do. So, yeah, if you guys want to help, if you want to collaborate, reach out to us, brad.kyle300@gmail. Send us an email. If you're in a position to where you could sponsor, if you want to be a sponsor of this channel or the podcast or a video or anything like that, or if you want to be on our bowling jerseys, we have all those options available. If you want to get coaching, Brad and Kyle membership. And if you buy a yearly, you get any ball you want. That's huge. I mean, let's think about this. Brad and Kyle membership, $500 for the year, but you get a bowling ball. So it's like a $200 deal you get with the bowling ball. So $300 you get coaching for an entire year where you could upload videos every day and ask questions every day. So it's like when we came out with the price of $500, it's like, oh my God, that's so expensive. Well, kinda, but you get it for the whole year. If you go to like a Barnes and Baker clinic, that's probably like $1,000 or $500 just for 2 days or 3 days. So $500 and you get a bowling ball. Storm's clutching up right there. It's actually a good deal. I'm not trying to sell you. It's a good deal. You get $300 for a year coaching. We can help you, and you get a bowling ball. So that's all I got.
And if you just want to watch, just keep watching us.
Just keep watching us.
We appreciate it.
Just
So
watch the free content. We love you anyway.
yeah. So all right, man. Well, I got homework to do.
Whatever.
I gotta go hit the gym,
Whatever.
and then I'll see you on Call of Duty.
All right. I'll see you on Call of Duty.
So thanks for watching, everyone. See
Yeah,
y'all
see you
later.
guys.